So you're thinking about hiring a fencing contractor. Maybe you're getting quotes right now, or maybe you've already talked to a few companies, but here's the problem. Most customers, whether their projects are residential, commercial, or otherwise, have no idea how to properly vet a fencing contractor. And that's exactly why so many projects end up over budget, behind schedule, or just poorly built altogether. So in this video, I'm giving you the complete fence contractor checklist. These are the exact things you should verify before hiring anybody to work on your property. Because if a fencing contractor can't check these boxes, there's a good chance you should keep looking. The first item on your checklist should be references, and not just one or two names scribbled on a piece of paper. A good contractor should be able to provide multiple references of projects they've personally installed. Now, ideally, I'd like to see 2 recent projects, say something within the last 6 months. That gives you an idea of the company's current standards and the quality of work they're producing today. But I'd also like to see some older projects, something that's a year or 2 old, because fences can look great the day they're installed, but age not so gracefully. The real question is, how do they hold up over time? Do the gates still open properly? Are the posts still straight? Has the fence shifted after a freeze and thaw cycle and weather exposure? That's what you really want to know. So before hiring anybody, check references off your list. The second item on your checklist is insurance. And this is a big one, folks. Any legitimate contractor should be able to provide a certificate of insurance quickly and without hesitation. Now, most people just look for liability insurance, and yes, that matters. But what you really want to verify is workman's compensation insurance. Because if someone gets hurt on your property during the installation process and the company doesn't have proper coverage, that situation can become very complicated very quickly. A professional contractor already has a system in place to handle those situations. So before anything gets signed, make sure their insurance, both liability and workman's compensation, is checked off your list. The third item on your checklist is a clear timeline. And I'm not talking about, we'll get to it sometime this summer. I'm talking about an actual realistic schedule. When is the project expected to start? How long should it take? Are there cure times involved for concrete? How do weather delays affect scheduling? Now listen, we all understand weather happens, especially here in the Midwest. Rain delays are part of construction. But a good contractor should still be able to explain the process clearly and give you a realistic expectation of how the project will unfold. If everything feels vague before the project even starts, that's usually not a great sign. So before hiring anybody, make sure timeline and scheduling are checked off your list. The fourth item on your checklist is payment terms. Now, every contractor operates a little differently, but you should clearly understand how payments are made, when the payments are due, and what exactly those payments cover. Now, this is going to vary by state depending on laws and regulations, but for most residential fencing projects, a deposit up front is normal. It's usually something like 50% down and balance due either upon completion or a set number of days past completion. The red flags you're really looking for is if somebody wants all the money up front, they only want cash, a check in their personal name, or they don't provide receipts, all clear warning signs. You should always have a clear paper trail and written payment schedule before anything signed, a dollar is paid, or work begins. That's going to protect both you and the contractor. So before signing anything, make sure payment terms are checked off your list. Checklist item number 5 is hidden charges, and this is where a lot of customers get caught off guard. Sometimes a contractor will come in with a lower upfront price than everyone else. But when the final bill comes, there are additional charges and they really start adding up. Rock charges, removal fees, haul-off fees, gate upgrades, permit fees, the list goes on and on. Now, here in Southwest Missouri, one we see pretty often is rock charges. Some contractors charge per hole if they hit rock while digging, and depending on the property, those charges can add up fast. So what originally looked like the lowest bid ends up becoming the most expensive project. Before hiring anybody, make sure you understand exactly what is included in the quoted price and exactly what is not. Check hidden charges off your list before the project starts. The sixth item on your checklist is understanding who is actually building the fence. Are the installers employees of the company? Or are they subcontractors? Now, again, not saying one is automatically better than the other, but you should know who's going to be on your property because that affects accountability, communication, scheduling, supervision, and insurance coverage. If a company can't clearly explain who's responsible for the installation, that's a concern. A professional contractor should have a clear answer for exactly who is handling your project. The seventh item on your checklist are permits and property lines. And this is something customers overlook until it becomes a problem. Who is responsible for pulling the permits? Is a contractor handling it? Is a customer expected to do it? And beyond permits, how are property lines being verified? Because the last thing you want is a fence installed in the wrong location. You also want to make sure utilities are properly located before digging begins. And this one isn't just a good idea, it's actually law. And it's not up to whoever wants to do it. This one has to be handled by the contractor building your fence. A good contractor should be able to clearly explain this process and help guide you through it. Because if permits aren't handled correctly, or property lines aren't verified, or a utility is damaged, or worst case scenario, somebody gets really hurt, a project can get delayed, stopped, or create significant problems long after installation is complete. So before moving forward, make sure permits, property lines, and utility locates are checked off your list. Now, if a contractor can confidently walk you through every item on this checklist, references, insurance, timeline, payment terms, hidden charges, who's doing the work, permits, property lines, utility locates, you're probably talking to somebody with a solid process in place. But if you start getting vague answers, pushback, or excuses, that's usually a sign to slow down and ask more questions before moving forward. All right, guys, if you found the checklist helpful, make sure to save this video, share it with somebody getting ready to install a fence. And if you want a printable copy of the checklist to use the next time you talk to a contractor, there will be a link in the description below. If you've got additional questions you think homeowners should ask before hiring a contractor, drop those in the comments below. Always love hearing from you guys. Until next time, Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors. I'll see you next time.